start recording it now. Darn.
That works.
Oh,
that works.
But so much great stuff came through that could have been useful for people. Oh, well, so be it. Yeah, that's very interesting, Allison. Okay, thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I'm making note of that. I am making note of that because, you know, the old-fashioned way is to keep a journal. There are some people, you know, who are very much thinkers a lot and everything, which we are different, have different orientation. Keep a notebook and write what's on their mind so they can just leave it there and then go back to the meditation. And, you know, that's kind of the old-fashioned way, but this is a neat technique.
I don't know that I wholeheartedly think it's a perfect technique.
Yeah.
In the sense that if there are parts of you that you don't want to incorporate with the rest of you,
yep,
then you're not being whole.
I know. That's what I first thought when you said that. I'm like,
yeah. And that's what I first thought when I read it too.
Yeah.
But I think it's a good way to take baby steps and take out, like, the next thing I'm going to try is taking out my monkey mind.
Yes.
And seeing if I can work on incorporating that with the rest of me. Yeah. And if that's too big of a leap, then maybe I'll try, you know, some wound in the heart.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Something smaller.
Yes.
Incorporate little pieces back with the rest of me until I am whole. Right.
Any comments on this from anyone else?
Well, it's a personal thing, and I'm sure I probably read it someplace, but even with our flaws, I mean, it still makes us whole. You know,
oh yeah.
With every piece of wood, you have nicks and scratches, and you know, there's flaws in the wood, but that's what makes the beauty of the wood.
Yes.
You know, so when we try to become perfect in this, you know, I guess the perfect sphere doesn't really exist, but it's all beauty.
Yeah.
So I think accepting our flaws is part of the natural process and the beauty of who we are.
Yes.
I agree. I think this is a way that I can accept those nicks and scratches at a slower pace, at a pace that I can determine, as opposed to, but I've got all these nicks and scratches, I can't get over them. You know, so that maybe I can do it without that inner shield, but it did help me in some ways. And so it's something that I want to see about experimenting with more.
Right. Yeah. There's been a lot of experimenting going on in this class this semester. I've been really impressed with it, the various experiments that have been going on. It's been very cool. And one thing I just want to add, the higher self is always in charge anyway.
Oh, yeah.
So whatever we're doing, you know, whatever we're doing, our higher self is always in charge of it, and there's always things to be learned, no doubt. So all is well. That's all I can say.
I tried telling my therapist that everything's perfect.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh. Go ahead.
So any other topics? Experiences, etc.
So I do have a question about the mentorship project.
Yep.
Versus the seminar type based project.
So
if we choose the mentorship, we can. Yeah, I'm not going to do it at the workplace anymore. This is too crazy. But so the only issue I do have is you know, I always give myself 2 weeks of ski you know, during the year.
Yeah.
It's going to happen to fall at the end of this semester. So if I do the mentorship,
yep.
You know, be with my girlfriend, but she's not going to go skiing. So how many sessions do we need to have to make it a quality mentorship?
3 or 4 with 3 people, hopefully.
Oh, with 3 people.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and it would be best if you initially meet with them in person if possible, but you could then set up things to do on Zoom with them or whatever format, phone, whatever.
Okay.
with them after that. And in fact, some people do that with some of their mentees for the whole time, right? So it's whatever works for you, mainly just to try things out and get experience doing this,
Sure.
facilitating people, yeah, and different people, so you get different things and so on.
So it might be easier to do a workshop for me.
It might be easier for you to do a workshop.
Right. And they don't have to be paying customers. They can be.
No.
Okay. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Not that I wouldn't welcome, a paying customer, but.
Yeah.
I know how that goes.
Yes. Yes.
But it's easier, to offer a free, and I can do, actually I can do that when I'm up in Breckenridge. So just get a room and offer it up and see who shows and teach them for a day. It'll be kind of cool.
Yes, you might want to have a backup plan for that though, because since you can't put the word out ahead of time and you'll be relying on anybody at all to show up for this invitation at Breckenridge.
Right.
Right.
Okay.
So you might want to arrange it in a different way than that.
When do we have to commit to that?
Well, this week for tomorrow, you're supposed to be writing up your plan for this week, either for mentoring or workshop. So maybe you do want to do the mentoring. I mean, the other thing is that you might do workshops in the future, Bob, and do the mentoring this time. Oh, I'm sorry, I got distracted because we only have 10 more minutes. I have the free Zoom. So if we get disconnected, we can come back on the same link that you came in before. But you have excellent, like 100% in the course so far. So if you could only mentor 2 people, for example, for 3 or 4 weeks, it's not going to take very many points off of your general. You see what I mean?
You got a big point.
Again, it's not like we need to do every little thing.
Okay.
We have leeway there.
Right. And if we hold the workshop, how many people do we need at the workshop?
Well, I mean, I'd say, I think the syllabus says like 6 to 12 people or something like that. But usually people who choose the workshop are usually really doing some planning ahead of time, and the ways they're advertising it or putting it out there in the space where they're going to do it, and all of those things about workshop planning. Right. So that they can be assured that they'll have at least a group of, a true workshop format. And, like 8 hours worth also. Right.
And I just in a friend's basement and we're, okay, got it.
Yeah. Oh, it can be in a friend's basement. That could be your venue,
Okay, I'll because I'm writing it up right now, and I don't want to take everybody's time, but I'm writing it up right now, and it's basically set up so that I can either do it as a workshop or as a mentorship. It's going to be that amount of time. So.
Right. I mean, you've already done some of the background material yourself. You have a bunch of background material. So do you, Allison. Mm-hmm. You both already have a whole outline. But then there's thinking about other things too. The questions are in the assignment. I mean, it's helpful to think about a variety of things for each kind of experience.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I already know just from my experience with tutoring versus teaching in a classroom that I prefer the tutoring 1-on-1 and 1-on-2 and 3 much more. And so I was looking long term when I said, no, I want to do the mentorship. I don't want to do the workshops.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah. I get a benefit from the workshops and from classes, but I don't feel like I get as much benefit from them as I do working 1-on-1 with somebody.
Yeah. So that's good. That's what you're going to do. That's really good. It's what serves you. It's what serves you as a person. And
yes, it fuels me.
Exactly. Exactly. So, um, you know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking that I'm going to do the activity that I wanted to do tonight. I think I'm going to do that in the third Zoom meeting, which is, I think, the 11th week of class. And I know you'll be having a really good time in Breckenridge, Bob, but I just want to tell you.
I will be at the dial-in.
You will, because
will.
what I got inspired with this, with my last class last winter that had 21 people in it. I think it was the biggest class the AU ever had. And it was very rich, needless to say. So in week 7, where I have that list of the qualities of enlightenment, the masculine aspect and the feminine aspect of the qualities of enlightenment, we do this activity of meditating for a moment, and then I throw out a word to you, and you write for just a minute or two about your relationship to that. You know, my relationship to immanence, my relationship to presence, my relationship to liberation, to insight, to intuition. And because I wanted to bring home to people that enlightenment isn't something out there that we're never going to reach or that we're trying to reach, that in fact we are actualizing the qualities of enlightenment all the time, you know, through our growth and development and our true nature, which is all of these things. And meditation, qigong, tai chi, yoga, but particularly meditation, are ways to access our true nature, right? The consciousness within us and the love. The way it's described from Mercedes Kirkle, my friend whose list here that I'm using from a presentation she did, she quantifies the masculine aspect of divinity as consciousness, right? And the feminine aspect of divinity or the God self as love, right? So love and consciousness, or love and light, are the that which all is created from and animated by, right? And then with these other qualities, which she put under the categories of the masculine aspects and feminine aspects of divine consciousness, right? So the more masculine side being the transcendence, for example, as we learned more about in Camille and Roche too, and the feminine aspect. So the masculine quality being transcendence, the feminine aspect being immanence, God immanent through all created form, life, right? And so it's a very interesting and illuminating little exercise to do, I feel, to bring home to us how much we do have relationship to these qualities, you know. On the human level, I started out working with this first on the human level because I got the channeling myself about the sacred union or of our own inner divine masculine and feminine, and that when we are able to embrace the whole spectrum within ourselves and utilize any quality along that spectrum of what we typically identify as masculine or feminine attributes, that in fact we are all androgynous, for one thing, and that the more we grow and even age, I'll say, we utilize more and more of the whole spectrum without being tied into some kind of gender roles. And I mean, this has been happening beyond words, you know, with these new younger generations who are also androgynous and transgender and so beyond gender roles that us older folks were more entrapped by when we were younger, you know. But it's still, I found it a kind of interesting thing to do. So we are going to get cut off, I think, now, telling me. And so I just feel like that's good for tonight. And I really appreciate you all being here. I love connecting this way. And so bless you all, and
Yeah.
much love, and
Peace.
peace. Yes. And feel free to use the discussion post for any purposes as well. You can always add another discussion post if you want to talk about something or have questions or anything like that, right?
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Shauna. Bye, Allison.
Bye.
Bye, Shauna.
Bye.
I think she left. Oh, she is still there. Yay. Bye.
Oh, hi. Shauna, I saw you then. Hi.
Yeah, I added myself back in.
Oh, cool. I'm gonna end the meeting for now.
Okay.
See you next time.
Yep.
Hopefully.
Bye.
Bye.